everyone, and welcome back to this channel. Today we are doing another ranking video. In today's video we are going to be ranking the games I got from Video Games Monthly for the month of April 2025. Remember, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button as it helps out this channel grow. And don't forget to hit the notification button for all future videos. So let's begin. First off, the Sega Genesis. This game is triple scored. This is 3 games in 1. In this collection, you get 3 games. The first game is Super Hang-On. Super Hang-On is a MotoGP arcade style that is not so much about leading the pack as it is about beating the clock by reaching various checkpoints laid throughout 4 racing courses of various lengths. You can play through a career style mode in which you compete against a number of rivals. And honestly, I didn't really care for this one that much. Next is World Cup Italia 90. The controls of World Cup is quite simple to understand. With the game played in a bird's eye overhead view, you easily be able to guide the highlighted player in the desired direction with the D-pad, while the main action buttons perform shots, passes, lobs, or slide tackles. One issue I did find with the control is that at times there is a delay by a second or so between pressing a button and the player performing the desired action. In this game, you control one player at a time, and I thought the game was okay-ish. And for the third and final part of this compilation is Columns, a dropping block puzzle game that is not quite as good as Tetris, though it sure does prove itself to be a good alternative. An engrossing and addictive dropping block puzzler in its own right. The game involves stacks of 3 or 4 colored blocks descending into the screen. Pressing the buttons will shift the order of the colored blocks within each stack, and moving the D-pad or stick right or left will alter where they land. If 3 blocks of the same color are placed so that they form a line vertically, horizontally, or diagonally, they vanish. And if so many blocks pile up that you can't fit anymore in the playing area, it's game over. While the beginner will simply jam blocks anywhere to create room, the more advanced players will look for combos where destroying one set of falling blocks allow the blocks above it to descend and take out more of these excess cubes and pointless that may be waiting below. And honestly, I did enjoy this one. It was not as good as Tetris, but it's a good alternative. For this entire collection, I'm gonna give this a B. Next up, Super Battleship for the Super Nintendo. The main game takes place on an overhead view. Now that the game will allow each of your ships and enemy ships to move only once per turn. This may sound simple, but the game will only allow you a limited amount of turns each scenario. So a lot of thinking has to go into each decision. One wrong move and you might already fail the mission. The graphics are not that detailed. Compared to the other Super Nintendo games, it is not the prettiest. But then, it really isn't meant to be. The constant POV is from above, looking over the map and the ship sprite markers, surrounded by the deep blue. It's very easy to identify who's who. Red is the enemy and the blue is you. When the game switches to attack mode, when you are near an enemy vessel, the detail is increased and the ship is now in closer view. The side on a view taking over and a first person view for your guns. You can also play classic Battleship if you like, just like the board game, which is still fun and addicting. I mean, it's Battleship, and while not the best version of Battleship, it's still Battleship, and I still enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this a C. Next up, Nintendo or NES. RBI Baseball. RBI Baseball did not use team names or logos. Instead, they used 8 teams listed by only their location: Boston, California, Detroit, Houston, Minnesota, New York, St. Louis, and San Francisco. The game also has 2 All-Star teams, American League and National League. The game features established veterans such as George Brett, Mike Schmidt, Dale Murphy, and Andre Dawson, none of who appear in the other 8 teams, and up-and-coming players like Mark McGwire, Kevin Seitzer, and Jose Canseco. Each player has different capabilities in the game. Hitters vary in ability to make solid contact, to hit the ball with power, and the base running speed. Pitchers vary in pitching speed and the amount of which the player can steer the ball left or right during his flight. Pitchers also have various stamina. As a pitcher gets tired, the ball slows down and it's harder to steer. The best pitcher is debatable, depending on how they are used by the player. And this game was okay-ish. The graphics were they were just okay. The sound effects were okay. I'm gonna give this a C. Next up, Rygar NES. Rygar is a side-scrolling platformer game in which the basic gameplay sees the player character move left or right, with the player able to jump, duck, attack, and climb ropes. Rygar's only weapon is his razor-sharp spinning shield that can be thrown some distance while staying attached to him, similar to a yo-yo. Available attacks are a standard front-facing attack that can be used when Rygar is either standing up or ducking down, a curved overhead swing, and an airborne attack. It is also possible for Rygar to briefly stun enemies by jumping on them. There is no health in this game, so it's one hit, one kill, and Rygar is immediately killed upon contact with an enemy unless jumping on the head, or an enemy's projectile, or falling from a platform. And honestly, I did not like this game. I didn't really care for this. I'm going to give this a D. And finally, we have Russian Attack for the NES. The players assume the role of the United States Special Operations Green Berets, who are invading an enemy military base to save POWs from execution. There are 4 stages, each ending with a special group of ambushers. Marshalling area ends with a truckload of jumping kicking enemies. Harbor ends with a pack of German Shepherds. Airbase ends with 3 auto gyros. Siberian Camp ends with 3 flamethrower operators. The Soviet armed forces that attack throughout each stage are soldiers, gunners, supply runners, combat specialists, jetpack soldiers, German Shepherds, parachute gunners, gyrocopters, and flamethrowers. The gameplay is fairly easy. Down is duck or climb down. The D-pad left or right moves your character. Up is jump or climb up. B is your knife, and A is your power-up item. Power-ups can't be cross stages, sadly, even if you have some time or ammunition remaining when you're at the end of each stage. The full series of power-ups includes a time duration invisibility star, a time duration short range pistol, a 3-shot bazooka that can shoot through multiple enemies at once, and a 3-pack of grenades with a small explosion. These are obtained by killing power-up soldiers with your knife. Kill them with the power-up and they just die, leaving you with nothing. Fairly basic and self-explanatory all around. An unexpected perk of this game is that it is 2-player, and the 2 players can run at the same time, instead of the all-common restricted to competitive style such as seen in Super Mario Bros. Again, this is one of those one-hit, one-kill games, so you know life bar and that's it. This was a really tough game, but it is a solid playthrough, and I did have fun with this one, and I'm gonna give this a B. So there you have it for this month of games. We did have a couple B's in here, 1 D, and still no A's. But what did you think about this list? How would you rank them? Please leave comments below to share your thoughts and let me know how you would rank them. Until the next time, peace out.